So, in order to go faster with the demo, I have made a couple of changes to the source code. Let me execute the solution to understand what I have built here with you. So we are here still in the phase 1, which is having the application. Once we finish this part, we are going to move our application to Azure. Okay, here as you can see we have two pop-ups of Chrome have been started. One is going to start the backend and one is going to have the front-end application. Okay, this is the to-do API, and this is the front-end that we have built, which contain our to-do sample. So here, let's start by adding task YouTube demo, which is high. When it's created, it will be inserted, and we can go back to list and we will find it right here. We can change it by clicking edit, and we can create here SF and keep it high, or maybe change it to medium, save, and we go back to the list as you can see, and we can delete it too. Great. So the front end is right now calling our API, which is right here. So we can get all the tasks. We can post a new one. We can get a specific task. We can update and delete a task. I also have added the DB context. So here we have our database right here, which contains the table that I have added. The table is to-do table. So let's explore the content of the table. So here, as you can see, as our model, we have the task ID, the name, the priority, and at the time. As you can see here, we have priorities, the task ID, the name, and the inserted time. Now let's explore the source code and see the changes that I have made, and we are going to see how to move this to Azure. Okay, let's start by the API. Here, first of all, I have my to-do model, which is right here. And later I added the task DB context, which is right here. So as you can see here, I defined the task DB context, and do not forget to install the NuGet package for Microsoft Entity Framework Core. I defined the task DB context, defined the table that we are going to use as DB set, and the model while creating. Also defined the task ID as the key to our table, and I have also defined the connection string here, so it can connect to my local SQL server and to create and get data. Also, I have made a couple of changes here. So here, let me just okay, here we are going to, since our table is going to be empty, I am going to create or add some data to our table first when it's going to be created. So here I added this method to create DB if not exist. So this method will check our service, and if the database is not created, it will create it, and it's going later to initialize it. Okay, the initialize is going to be here. If we go to the method here, so here I'm going to initialize our database. To make first, we are going to ensure it's created, and we are going to add this couple of data right here, which we have seen earlier. and it's going to be saved. In the controller of the API here, I have also integrated the DB context, and for example, when we are going to get the list of to do, we are going to call the context our table and to list async, so we can get the list of the database. And here are a couple of other methods. Also, we are not going to see each one by one. So let's go to the client part here. In the client part, I have made a couple of changes too. So let me go first to the controller. Here, if you remember in the last part, I was calling the API link from the link which was here. Right now, I have added the configuration method, so I will call the API URL from the application settings. So I can change this anytime I want from one place. And you will see why I'm going to need this when I'm going to add the Azure functions. Okay, here I have the add method, the index method, which return to us the list of the to-do items that we have, the delete task, the update, etc. And here I have added a couple of pages, one for adding the tasks, one for updating the tasks. Do not worry, this code source will be shared with you inside GitHub repo. So that's it, I think, and I think it's time to move on to how we can move this to Azure. Great. Okay, here I forgot to mention in configure service that I have added the context for our DB context and the connection string too. To go through this project, I allow myself to host the backend and the client part inside my Internet Information Service Manager. As you can see here, I have the backend working and it shows all the data that we need. Also, I have here a home page when you can create a new task. As you can see it here, and if you go to our database, you will see the new inserted online demo. Okay, now the goal is not to create empty database. We can do this if we create a database and give it the connection string to our application and hit run, it will initialize the database. But here the goal is to migrate this existing database to a database that we are going to create, and later we are going to connect to that database to continue our work. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going here to my resource group. I'm going to create a new resource group, call it online demo. I'm gonna put this in North Europe, and I'm going to create this resource group. Resource group is like a folder where you are going to save all your app service, database, the collection of things that you are going to do for some environment. So here I'm going to choose SQL. I'm going to type here SQL. So for Azure SQL to create, we have three options: SQL database, SQL managed instance, and SQL virtual machine. For our sample, we are going to work with SQL as a service, and we are going to use the power of SQL databases. We are going to have a single database, and we are going to create. In order to have a SQL database, we need to have a SQL server. So here I'm going to give a name for our database, the to do. Here it's going to create our first database empty. So here we don't have a server, so I'm going to create a server, North server. server API. Okay, here it's going to be Azure, and here oh okay. Okay. And I'm going to save the server in the same location that I have used earlier. I'm going to click OK. Okay, here it's going to create a server, and inside that server we are going to have a database called the to-do. We want to use SQL Elastic Pool. We don't have many databases, so I'm not going to use this for our purpose. Here we are going to choose the storage, and here I'm not going to work with general purpose. We are going for basics and free. Here I'm going to use this use 5 basics and max storage. I'm gonna keep this to 2 gigabytes. Okay, if you want to learn about the views, you can learn from here to understand what is the view, how it's calculated, and how you can purchase the right SQL as a service database for you. I'm gonna click apply, and I'm going to click review create. Oh, something is wrong here because it seems that I didn't choose the right. Okay, here and to do, I'm going to click basics, apply, next networking. Okay, networking. Here I'm gonna keep this like that. If we want to have backups or daily backups, you can choose one parameter here, your database, and you can configure maintenance also. And this is the right cost. It's going to cost like $5 per month, and if you are testing, this is almost free. So create. Okay, while we are going to do this, I said that we are going to do a migration. For that, we are going to use a tool that Microsoft provides, which is Data Migration Assistant by Microsoft. You can download Data Migration Assistant from here. We will be directed to link. For me, I have already Data Migration Assistant installed right here. I'm going to launch it, and here I'm going to wait for the database to be created. So the steps here are: we are going to migrate the database. We are going to connect our applications, existing application on our local host, to that database using the new connection string. Later, we are going to test the application, and later we are going to create a web application for the backend, create web application for the front end, and we are going to deploy both applications to Azure.